Welcome in, everybody. It is a Thursday night, and another edition of the Joe Quills Show. I am that fugly looking dude, Joe Quills. Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great night. I'm feeling uh, tired, but usually when I get tired, I get even more goofy. So be warned if I start joking and you're not used to it. Got a lot to talk about here. Got some breaking news out of Paris that we will discuss. I mean, breaking as in within the last hour. Um, the Olympics, the official start is tomorrow, the opening ceremony, but they did have some soccer and rugby matches so far. But this story will be an update from a story I mentioned on Tuesday night. Um, a lot of baseball news. Also, an arena in Philadelphia is changing its name. We'll tell you about that here. Dylan Cease threw a no hitter, other reports, and then Brandon Graham as well, and also whatever comes up. So if you have anything you want to add, feel free to do so because we are all in this together here tonight, and hope everybody's doing okay out there. Okay to great. Um, I got to update this banner here because I messed it up. There we go. There we go. Philly Arena changing names. And those that are in the Philadelphia area know what that is already. So, anyways, um, let's get to it here. Thursday, had to get up early today because yesterday when I was working, I get a call from the maintenance. I get a call from the rental office. I'm like, all right, what did I mean, it's just like everything else. What did I do? Because I occasionally bash people within the uh, within the complex. People, joke, but most of the time it's for fun. But I get a call, and she goes, "Oh, you're going to be home tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, I work from home." She goes, "Okay, well, we're sending an exterminator up. Exterminator is going to be all over the building, and we're going to send them to your apartment as well, just so that any bugs that you may get won't end up in your apartment." I don't care, do whatever. So, guy rings my doorbell right around noon. He goes, "You're calling about bugs?" I'm like, I didn't call, but I was aware of what they were doing. I mean, I know I was really helpful there, um, but I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, well, I don't know. I'm just relaying what they had, and I couldn't even calm the guy down. I'm 60 years old. I've been in this company since such and such a time. It's kind of like the customers I get at my job, where I was with your company for 34 years, and you don't know how bad I want to say, lady, I don't give a flying f what how long you've been there, because you don't get preferential treatment. It's kind of like everybody else. Everybody has that badge of honor that um, it's a fixing thing here. There we go. So everybody holds everything as a badge of honor. Like, oh, I can't walk, I can't talk, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like, I feel like saying, there is no preferential treatment. I'm going to be handling you the same as everybody else. But in this case, this guy saying, I don't know why they told me to come in here and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I disconnected from the calls here so I can let you in, so you can do what you have to do. I can tell you what I know, which wasn't that much. So, I mean, he apologized and all, but, it was just like, what the hell? I woke up an extra 2 hours early for you, because they said, oh, sometime between 9 and 4. But, just some annoying stuff here that I get from time to time. And unfortunately, that is the case. Um, so that was my day in a nutshell. And then all the screaming idiots started calling. And, then I finally got to go home for the day, which was just disconnecting from the phone from the phone. So, but I'm here tonight. We're gonna have some fun here as we always do, and feel free to chat in the chat rooms here. Um, where I got I got the I got the chat room from X from my show here, and I also have the main page which shows me all three chats at the same time. So, um, like I said before, I'll probably get a chance to look at it Sunday because I'm not going to be home on Saturday. I'm off this weekend. Um, I know that um, there were issues with the platform I use, which is EVMux or EvMux, whatever they call it. Something between EvMux and X, it doesn't always go to us. So I do have a separate window open the for the chat here. So never fear. I got that ready to go here tonight as well. So just fixing things up here. So I am going to see your stuff. Um, if you're watching on X, welcome aboard. I'm Joe Quills, part of Bleacher Brothers, horse racing degenerate, I like to say. Also the host of this show 3 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. And we're going to be adding Wednesday soon. Uh, so hope everybody, uh, hope everybody follows me. You follow me, whether it's YouTube or X or on Twitch, give me a follow. We have some fun here, and I try to bring some provoking thought as well. So, anyways, let's get to it here. Um, let's begin with the breaking news from Paris. Um, the Olympic soccer has begun. However, the opening ceremony is not until tomorrow. I guess it's just because the way that they do things, they plan out the schedule so far. I mean, years in advance. I guess the way that they were doing the schedule, it just didn't work out. So as a result, you have the you have a couple of events starting early, and soccer was one of them. And I told you on Tuesday night about the drone incident in Paris. Well, apparently there may be more to it. And Team Canada, their women's national team, Bev Priestman, has been removed from the country's Olympic team over a scandal involving the use of drones to spy on opponents' practices. Hmm. Does that sound a little Bill Belichickian to you? So, I mean, it's interesting that that this is coming up here. This was announced earlier today. I mean, I'm highlighting points here for what I want to talk about, and all right, that article's now no good because you updated it, but uh, Bev Priestman is gone. The COC, Canadian Olympic Committee, said it made a decision after Canada Soccer decided to suspend Priestman for the remainder of the tournament. So As you know, and if you're just watching and didn't know what was going on, Tuesday, um, Canada's opening opponent complained to the IOC about their integrity unit after it said drones were flown over close practices. So, you know, if you're going to scout, you scout during games. You don't scout during practices because it's like, well, what could we do differently? It's kind of like the Eagles. They had one day where they did all practices that were plays that they weren't going to run, just in case that Bill Belichick had something up his sleeve. So, but Doug Peterson had his thing over his sleeve, and we got a parade out of it. So, um, but um, the COC statement said the Canadian Olympic Committee has removed Canadian women's soccer national team head coach Bev Priestman from the Canadian Olympic team due to her suspension by Canada Soccer. Assistant coach Andy Spence will lead the women's national soccer team for the remainder of the Paris Olympics. This announcement followed a report from TSN, which is the Canadian ESPN, that both Canada women's and men's soccer teams have used drones to record opponents' closed door training sessions for several years, including the women's team's gold medal winning. It says gold meal on here. Gold medal, it should be. Winning Tokyo Olympic tournament in 2021. And probably if you were to pull this article from ESPN in about an hour, that typo will probably be fixed. Who knows? But then again, sometimes like with the articles that I write, you have a word that doesn't make sense. It's technically a typo, but it doesn't get picked up by the autocorrect or the correct system that they have. Spell check, I should say. So, um, Canada Soccer CEO and General Secretary Kevin Blue said in a statement, over the past 24 hours, additional information has come to our attention regarding previous drone use against opponents predating this year's Olympics. Now, obviously, if that's the case, there is a big pattern here that they need to fix. And if Priestman is the person that ordered the drone usage, she may not coach again. I mean, I mean, the biggest event, and you got to question if this was something that happened a couple of years ago as well. Maybe there was something funny with the something funny with the with that gold medal win, that maybe they were using drones illegally even then. But and the thing is with drone usage, you can hear those drones, so it isn't like these are totally silent. You hear the motor running and the propellers and everything, or whatever it would have. So it's not like you just make this stuff up. It's very obvious when you hear a drone running. But so Blue also says, in light of the new revelations, Canada Soccer has made the decision to suspend women's national soccer team head coach Bev Priestman for the remainder of the Paris Olympics and until the completion of the recently announced independent external review. And probably the external review is probably going to get her fired because you can't. Because one thing is you can't just fire somebody. You got to fire with cause. And if that's the case with all the drone stuff here, gone. So, so in the fallout of the initial complaint, assistant coach Jasmine Mander and Canada soccer analyst Joseph Lombardi were both sent home from the Olympics. Now, Canada did win the opening game 2-1 over New Zealand. Now, I don't know what the rankings are, the world rankings with soccer team, women's soccer teams. I know the U.S. was number one for a long time, and then they dropped down a couple spots. At least I think that's the case. But they kind of did play without Priestman because the original plan was, all right, well, since you're accusing me of knowing what's going on, I'm gonna keep myself out of this game just to keep things on the up and up. But um, so she stepped away to show accountability, but she was adamant at practice yesterday that she had no knowledge of the drone use. So, or yeah, not knowing any of the drone use, but if she ordered the the drone use, that's like ordering the code red. But I mean, she might as well kiss her career goodbye because I'm not, and I'm sure there's a lot worse things that have happened in women's soccer, but but in terms of just the beginning of the tournament, we had that going on, and then we had a men's game yesterday where fans ran on the field and they had to do a VAR review and everything, and with everything that was going on, it took 2 hours, and they forced the fans to leave the stadium. I mean, it was I didn't see the game, but it was crazy stuff there, and we haven't even lit the torch yet. And Snoop Dogg hasn't lit up his gigantic joint yet. Now I don't know if he can in Paris or not, or France for that matter, but we'll find out. But that'll be live. That's actually going to be shown live this year at 1:30 Eastern time uh, tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get to joke around and give some goofy ass comments to some things that are going on in Paris for opening night. So, um, but it's something that I'll watch. It's not something that I'm completely looking for, but the way that the way the time difference is between France and the United States, it works perfectly for me because by the time primetime sports in the United States starts, the Olympics for the day are winding down. But um, so we'll see what happens with everything here. I think this coach is going to get fired, and we'll see. But and I'm not wearing a Team Cannon jersey. As you can see here, I'm wearing my Philly shirt, mainly because I got my work shirt underneath, and I didn't want to press show that on there because like I said on Monday's show, um, if I am not, if I call out sick from work, it's automatic, no stream, no show, nothing. So just keep that in mind uh, when you're uh, when you're watching future episodes and you're ready for me to start, and then you hear an old episode of something else or somebody else's episode or somebody filling in for me, depending on what we will do in the future with BBSN, which is coming soon. Um, we'll, you'll, if I'm out sick, I gotta protect the nest egg, and if I protect the nest egg, then good. So, because I'm not losing anything. I'm not losing 25 years of service and all the benefits I have just for uh, streaming. There's streaming can be done another day. So, um, but oh yeah, by the way, I do have a surprise coming next week. I'm going to be adding to the area on top of the um, air conditioner there. So I do have something coming. Um, all I will say is it's horse racing related, but when you first see it, you're going to say, what the hell is that for? But uh, once we once I get that item, which will be arriving next week, I believe. Um, I will let you know. I will reveal it on the show and explain the reason why for it as well. So, but um, so you know, keep an eye out for that. So, all right. So this came up yesterday, and this does happen in sports in the United States. Sometimes it happens because of um, sometimes it happens because of the corporations buying each other out and stuff like that. But the Wells Fargo Center will no longer be known the Wells Fargo Center come next summer. I saw on a couple of different sites here. I printed this up from the CBS News Philly. Um, Wells Fargo plans to drop its name from the South Philly Sports Arena, the home of the Flyers and the Sixers, after the bank's contract expires in 2005. Um, this is something that happens from time to time. If you have an arena that whose naming rights isn't with a company who's been bought out or buys out another or changes their name or whatever. Um, the the former Heinz Field 2 years ago that changed to a Creaser Stadium or however you pronounce that. So that happened a couple years ago, and a couple years ago, the Verizon Center in DC. Well, that was originally MCI. Verizon bought out MCI, and then Verizon got out of that deal, and or the rights deal was over, and they just said we're not, you find another name. It ended up being the Capital One Center. So you do have that happen from time to time. Sometimes these stadiums don't last that long. So and some people say, and some people were saying today, well, look at Wells Fargo. At the Wells Fargo Center. It started as the Core Seat Center, then First Union, then Wachovia, now Wells Fargo. But it was all those name changes were because of one corporation buying out another corporation. This is a product of the contract being completed. And you have the right of first refusal for something like this. And as a result, um, Wells Fargo is choosing to no longer use its name on the arena, save a couple $1 million a year because I think it was like 1.6 million a year, which isn't much now, but back then, back when the naming rights was first bought, when it was core states, if it was the same contract, it was something that came up and they actually did change as the corporation name change, um, but sometimes we still call it the FU Center because of the First Union Center. I mean, I remember they had. I wonder if I can find it on YouTube. I probably could, and I think it was Bill Baldini who was um, at the at what is now the Wells Fargo Center. Then it was known as the First Union Center. They had a memorial for Gene Hart, and Bill Baldini goes live from the FU. You know, guy just recently died, and you're going off on a tangent about the FU Center. But then I remember the one time one of my managers said, "Oh, we're going down for the Atlantic 10 tournament, blah blah blah." You know, yeah, we're going to be at the FU Center, and it was a manager said, but thankfully it was just FU and not the actual words. But yeah, it was a funny thing, and you know, crazy little thing they had there. But um, now Wells Fargo had a statement today, uh, or yesterday. This news is from yesterday. Wells Fargo regularly reviews and adjusts our overall sponsorship strategy. As we have made businesses as such, we have made the decision not to renew the naming rights contract for the Wells Fargo Center. We value our relationship with Comcast Spectacor, and we look forward to collaborating on live entertainment and sporting events at the Wells Fargo Center through the end of the contract in August 2025. And I think it was a 30-year deal because I think this is the 30th year of the center. So, um, so they will be changing names on that arena come next summer. I imagine probably the spring. I would say probably between March and July we'll probably know what the new name is going to be. I've suggested uh, just because I'm a dick. I said on one site that I want it to be the Pornhub Center, and another I said I hope it's the um I hope it's the KY Jelly Center. So but one thing I did see, getting back to all seriousness here, um, Wells Fargo is not only dropping sponsorship of the center, they're also dropping sponsorship for the Wells Fargo golf tournament as well. So there's a couple of things that they're uh, dropping their advertising on. So you do have two different businesses, two different entities that are no longer being going to be called Wells Fargo. Now there is a Wells Fargo arena in Iowa, I believe. So that probably they still have to be on that one because of the because of a naming rights deal. Because like for example, Citizens Bank Park, Citizens Bank bought the rights to the stadium back before the stadium was open. I think it's 20 years now, and they're still there. Lincoln Financial Field, they were never bought out. They didn't buy out anybody that I know of off the top of my head, but Lincoln Financial Field is the stadium name, and that's what they do. Basically, what you do is you buy the naming rights, and I don't know what the average rate is now for a 20 or 30-year deal. I imagine if it was like 1.6, I think I saw on another article. Um, it is a. I imagine that price is going to go up too, and I'm trying to rack my brain. What could the name be? Because I don't see anybody local off the top of my head, and if somebody were watching this and had a comment of what they think it would be, I probably would say, yeah, it's interesting. Um, some people were saying Wawa. I don't think that's going to happen. But that would be a great point to break into Wawa. Wawa would be a great opportunity because of the fact that they're expanding into Tennessee. I think they're expanding into Alabama soon. So back about 15, 20 years ago, before Florida, they invaded Florida. They were just in Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Now they're all the way down in Florida. They're in North Carolina. They're going to be in Tennessee, and I think Alabama, and I think Georgia. So they're filling in that area between Florida and Pennsylvania, where the home office is. So, but I don't know who the sponsor will be. I haven't heard anything about who would be front runner, and I doubt any business will admit that until it's signed, sealed, and delivered. But I really think that um, they will have a opportunity somebody's gonna have an opportunity to do that. And the stadium, the arena is just, I think it's just about finished with the renovations that they had over the last couple of years. So you could conceivably have an arena that's going to be there another 20, 30 years. And if that's the case, yeah, I would be a little, I mean, me personally, but that's just me. I would be a little leery about having my business on that arena. Now, not because of the teams that are there, but the fact that you're going to have you're going to have um you're going to have the Flyers there because that's their arena. The Sixers are just renters. Now, the Sixers, they want to build an arena downtown, and Chinatown is fighting back with them, and things have stalled with that. And now New Jersey's getting involved where they say, just come on over to New Jersey. We'll build a stadium in Camden for you. But the thing is, they're still gonna get people going to those games. It's just different ways that they'll get there. It's just whatever. Um, but um, but I would wonder if I really would want to do something like that because instead of having 82 games at the center, 41 hockey, 41 basketball, you're only going to have 41 sporting events plus the Villanova games, which Villanova may be in a rut now, and especially with NIL, who knows? Um, I don't see anybody. I don't. I mean, me as a businessman, I wouldn't. If I was a major corporate entity, I probably wouldn't want to do that arena because you're going to have 41 less games chances to be on national TV or streaming because that's the way everything's going now. Um, but you know, you get less eyes, you're going to get less eyes on the arena. You're going to get less people talking about the arena, less about the team, that sort of thing, in my opinion. But then again, I may be totally off on this, but somebody is going to buy the rights, and they'll probably buy it for 10 or 20 years. And hopefully, it's not a situation like Core States was when they first bought the rights to the arena. They got bought out, then First Union got bought out, then Wachovia got bought out, then Wells Fargo owned the rights. So basically the contract is up. And you see this from time to time because of the fact that, these arenas, they usually don't last long, but the Flyers did the right thing in saying, hey, we're not going to ask for a new arena. We're just going to renovate this, do what we want to do with this, and then we'll go from there. And that's what they've done. Probably going to be there another 20, 30 years. Probably be there until I croak. So it will be, you know, but be interesting to see who ponies up the money. Um, Not sure if a casino would do it, but you know, but somebody's going to buy that. So I mentioned Citizens Bank Park, and the Phillies play there, blah blah blah. The whole deal with that. But um, now one stadium that has avoided the naming rights thing. And I think this is more. Um, we'll get the naming rights on many different things inside the stadium and keep the name Nationals Park. Well, Dylan Cease of the San Diego Padres through the second no hitter in Padres history this afternoon, throwing a no um, uh, in a 3-0 game. He threw, I think it was 111 pitches, His pitch count was starting to get up there. He was at 94 pitches after 7 innings, and the one good thing is when you have somebody who's thrown a no hitter like Joe Musgrove did a couple years ago in Texas, you do have um, somebody who's experienced it, and with that, you do. It's nice to see that a manager didn't say, "Oh, he's at 94 pitches, we got to take him out." But um, so he was talking to Joe Musgrove, and Musgrove said, Schilt said that Musgrove told him his stuff is pretty good. Well, he's thrown one, and Schilt said, "Well, Musgrove did throw a no hitter. He knows what this looks like. We let him ride." So the fact they have somebody who did the did the no hitter thing, you can really lean on somebody who has done it in the past. So now he only needed 9 pitches in the eighth and 11 in the ninth. So that's 114 pitches he threw. So, you know, a little high for the way standards are now, but he did get the no hitter over the Washington Nationals Thursday to complete a 3-game sweep. Um, Ironically enough, 2 years ago, Dylan Cease was on his way to a no hitter with the White Sox, and future teammate Luis Ariz broke up a no hitter with 2 outs in the ninth. Or actually, I don't think it was the ninth inning, but uh, but Ariz broke up a no hitter. Um, in the ninth inning, Cease retired Ildemaro Vargas and Jacob Young on ground outs for the first 2 outs, and then got C.J. Abrams to fly out to right to end the game. Um, so, so you do have all that going on. Um, Now, she'll also mentioned about Dylan Cease that, oh, I'm not quite there yet. Uh, After the first inning, the second inning he says getting there. Third inning he said he just hit his stride. Sometimes those things happen. It's just a weird thing. And one thing is, I saw Eric Burns' post. He's with No Filter. Um, he said, sometimes you get these goofy plays that go your favor, and that leads to that's a good indicator something special is happening. And I replied that, it's almost a prerequisite that you have a great play on the defensive end, a great player to protect the no hitter. Um, but there was one play. Uh, they had a couple of great plays later on the game. Um, Cease was appreciative of everything because he said, "Thankfully, we're able to talk it out." I said, I feel really good right now. Next inning, if I'm kind of erratic and use up too many pitches, then pull me. But give me a shot at least." Thankfully, it worked out. So um, now the question is, if you get through the eighth inning with some trouble, are you pushing or you? So even though it's analytics driven and protecting these arms that are worth so much money to major league teams, you do have to make sure that they're able to come back in 5 days. So um, now, Mike Schilt did say that he wasn't going to allow Cease his pitch count to rise into the high 120s. He said that there was no further conversation after Cease breezed through the eighth. So um, he cemented his ninth inning by having a very easy eighth inning. So um, um, The closest play Washington came to a hit was when Juan Yepez lofted a fly to shallow center in the fifth inning. The ball popped out of second baseman Xander Bogaerts' glove, but center fielder Jackson Merrill was there to snare the ball before it hit the ground. Um, Bogarts also bobbled a ball in a diving stop of Keibert Ruiz's grounder with one out in the eighth, but recovered in time to throw out the slow-footed catcher at first. And I saw that. That was a great play as well. Um, C said it feels like every no-hitter is a couple of plays, and that's exactly what Eric Burns was saying on his Instagram today. Um, Now, for those that are looking into the futures market, Dylan Cease's Cy Young odds change from 100 to 1 to 40 to 1. Um, he's got the fifth shortest odds to win the awards on ESPN Bet. Chris Sale and Chris Wales, Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, and Paul Skeens are the three favorites right now. So, um, now Washington has been no hit for the second straight year. Last year it was Michael Lorenzen, if you remember. Um, San Diego earned their third sweep. Washington was swept for the sixth time this year. So, congrats to him. That was a great feat there. And you never know. And the thing is, when you go to a baseball game, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, you could go to a no hitter. You could go a game where somebody hits four home runs. You could have a bench clearing brawl. You know, you never know. And that's a great thing about baseball is you never know what's going to happen. Um, well, there are some things that you know it's going to happen, but you just don't know when. And the last 4 years, it's Mike Trout getting hurt, and he he let the rehab start after 2 innings on Tuesday in Salt Lake City because of soreness in a surgically repaired left knee. Um, Before the game on Wednesday, Ron Washington had said that he had reports that Trout was feeling better, but later in the day, the Angels announced that he was going back to Southern California. So, but I mean, everybody in Philadelphia that wants Mike Trout, I'm at the point where after the second inning, after the second inning or the second year, I was like, do we really want Mike Trout? Because it just seemed like every year it was like, hey, we got to get Mike Trout home. We got to get Mike Trout home. I'm not sure I want Mike Trout even. I didn't then after the second injury because last year was a broken hamate bone in his hand and he missed the rest of the year. He spent 5 weeks in the IL in 2022 with a back injury. He missed the 2021 with a strained calf muscle. So there are injuries that are going around. I'm just wondering now, the calf injury, I vaguely remember. The hamate bone, I know, but I don't know if I did he do something that aggravated that injury after the surgery. But it just seems like if he gets hurt, he's out for a long time. And I mean, I feel bad for him that he's stuck in LA. He only had three playoff games in his career, only has one hit, and he may not get another chance to be in the playoffs unless he gets traded. But it's because he has 10-5 rights. He could just say, "Well, you want to trade me to Colorado? No, I'm not going. I'm voting 10-5 now." And what that 10-5 means is 10 years of major league service, at least the last five with the same team. Now, guarantee you, he would say, "Well, Yankees, maybe. Phillies, yeah. Mets, yeah." But I think you. I mean, if he goes anywhere, I would think he would go here, unless one of the teams on the East Coast I mentioned, unless somebody were to say, "Hey, we're this close. We can get you a ring. Come join us." And you know, because he has the 10-5 rights. He can veto any trade he wants. And just to like, I mean, a no trade clause or the 10-5 rights, all that basically is that you get the notification from the owner or GM or whoever, and you say, Mike, I have a trade for you with Cincinnati, making something up. No, I'm not going to Cincinnati. Oh, you don't want to hit 80 home runs a year? No. Where do you want to go? Philly. Philly doesn't want you. New York. Neither New York team wants you. One moment. Because the no trade clause basically just says, well, sorry about that. Got a little tick on my throat there. So all a no trade clause is basically, um, you know, it's basically let me know who's the deal with before I drop the rights. So that's something you should know. Um, even though even though I think Harper has a complete no trade clause, I think he's right around 10-5 rights anyway. So he's doubly invested in that no trade clause. So um, got some updates here. A couple of guys that have been on the trade block. Well, one guy who will not be traded, and I'm trying to clear that up a little bit, but one guy who will not be traded, and truthfully, why would you want to go? You would want to stay in Oakland? Is Mason Miller. He landed on the 15-day injury list today with a fracture of his left pinky finger. Now, the move is retroactive to Tuesday. Ross Stripling was activated to open the series opener at the Angels. And I didn't realize I had Angels and then this story here back to back. But per MLB.com, Miller broke his finger while preparing to exercise in the trainer's room inside the A's clubhouse after Monday's win over the Astros. The rookie placed his left hand on the training table in an awkward position, causing the injury. This was after he had a 11 pitch 1-2-3 ninth inning. Now, the San Francisco Chronicle, they're reporting they're reporting that he was apparently frustrated with something after the game and pounded his left hand on a table. So, who knows? But at least it was his left hand. But the problem is he needs to catch with that left hand. So, the reason why teams want to go after him, first of all, he comes cheaply here because um, teams will have teams will have 5 years of team control remaining after the season, meaning you know he'll be at a low rate of pay. He'll have to go through his arbitration years and stuff like that. Um, he's thrown 306 pitches of 100 miles an hour or harder and broke the record for the fastest pitch in All-Star game history at 103.6. And that latter stat has only been tracked since 2008. So now, with an injury like that and you're on the injured list like that, you are not getting traded. So unless he really likes Oakland and he is really likes Sacramento, he is not going anywhere. Um, so the Phillies will be out on him because he's untradeable. Now, the Phillies aren't involved with this guy, or rumored, but I After what I read about this, I doubt I would want to. I doubt I would want to trade for him anyway. Um, um, Things are getting more complicated with Garrett Crochet of the Chicago White Sox. He wants a contract extension if he's traded in order to pitch in the postseason this year. He's also making it known that he has no desire to pitch out of the bullpen, citing health concerns for all the above requests. The first time starter already has double his single season high in innings. Now, that's a red flag for me because I would be worried about him because, if you're going to trade for him, that means that you're planning on him to pitch in October. And if he struggles as a starter, you're really screwed because he doesn't want to pitch out of the bullpen. Well, he can sit in the clubhouse watching a game every day. So, but he still has 2 years of team control after the season before he becomes a free agent. But to push himself for another month in October, he wants security, according to sources. Um, and he wants to stay as a starter as well. Um, Now, Crochet broke into the league as a reliable reliever in 2020, then underwent Tommy John surgery 2 years later. He returned late last year. He expressed his desire to join the rotation, and the rebuilding White Sox obliged. Now he's one of the more sought after pitchers known to be available, but trading for him comes with a potential high price tag. Not only potential high price tag, if he does not do the job for you, you would want to put him in the bullpen. The problem is he doesn't want to be in a bullpen. So I mean, somebody's going to deal for him, but Phillies aren't rumored to be going after him. Thank God, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. Now, the teams that are interested are the Dodgers. Dodgers have all kinds of pitching injuries. Um, Clayton Kershaw came back today, and I, you know, and James Paxton was DFA'd. We talked about that the other night, which was a bit of a surprising move, but not really. Um, the Orioles are involved. The Yankees are involved. Orioles and Yankees are going to be beating the hell out of each other second half of the year. Um, Even though the Yankees might have already bowed out of the running according to league sources. So who knows? Personally, I wouldn't want to be going after him, but if the contract extension or more money or whatever was not in the cards right now, I mean, I keep saying Pittsburgh because they need. I think they're a young team, but he hasn't really did too much in the postseason. He hasn't had any experience in the postseason, I don't think. And if he is, it's minor. I would rather him. I would rather him stay in Chicago because I wouldn't touch him if you're going to have to extend his contract or give him more money and then if you got to keep me a starter. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So um on the football here, and we do have training camps open around the country. And I did see a story that is unrelated to this. The Raiders can't promote their training camp because they're impeding on uh, the territorial area of the Rams and Chargers. So whatever. But one little thing here. Um, Brandon Graham of the Eagles. He said at training camp on Wednesday, he confirmed that he'll be retiring at the end of the season. He said at practice, "It's my last year, man. So I'm just going to trying to soak it in, try to enjoy every day, trying to give it everything. no stone unturned. And Father Time is catching up with him. I mean, you look at him; he's got gray in his beard on the sides and shit. But this is his 15th year with the Eagles. He'll be the longest tenured player in team history. Um, he will forever be known as the eagle that had a strip sack on Tom Brady in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl 52, that helped the Eagles defeat the Patriots, giving the Eagles their only Lombardi trophy. I'm glad that they worded it this way because the one thing is, and it annoys me to no end, how the the Eagles have won 3 championships pre Super Bowl, but nobody cares about those Super Bowls, especially some team down south with the star. You know, oh, we won 5 Super Bowls. Well, we've won 4 championships. No, you don't. You only won 1 Super Bowl. Well, we had 3 other ones, so whatever, buddy. But um, Graham has the fourth most sacks in franchise history. He finished with double-digit sacks, um, and and he has adapted to a rotational role over the last 2 years. He's going to complement a group that it's going to include Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, and Nolan Smith Jr. Um, so it is going to be a going to be a fun season for the Eagles, and hopefully he can go out on top here. Now, I will sometime next month. Well, Thursday starts next month, and here comes trouble. Um, I got a question for you, and SJ is in the room. I do have a question for her. Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on the stream? No. Okay. Nay, and then May. I'll sit by the bay, and then I'll pray. By the way, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out in a couple of years. Uh, I'm just wondering if you want to come on or if you don't want to, that's fine. All right. So do we have to finalize our wager because the Phillies are playing the Yankees next week. Um, I just want to know, do you want to finalize a fun little wager? We could do it with you and chat and me on video, or I can send you. I'll come over. All right. So, in that case, we'll just do it through chat. We'll just do it because I think with EV Mux, I could just send you send it to your email and go through that, and you just select that. But we'll do it this way; it's easier. Um, so first of all, before we get to my proposed wager, I got tied up at work. She doesn't want to scare the people. Well, there's a. I'm just trying to say something that doesn't get me into trouble, but I'm not going to. If you want, you can come on camera. I'll put the bag over my head. The Olympic ceremony start at 1:30, and I gotta tell you that I finally loaded up my DraftKings today, And I'm sure you saw that DraftKings alert from yours truly this afternoon. Uh, I ended up putting money in because we had a good. I had a um, I had still had a lot of money in my account this week, my bank account. So, all right, you know what? Let me do something because I have a feeling about one thing. So, and then BetMGM gave me 5 free wagers for $5 each. So I doubled down on that. I had a wager on the U.S. women's national team to score 4.5 or more goals at plus 185, I think it was. And the U.S. scored 3 goals in the first 25 minutes. And on top of that, as for some reason there's a red light district thing going on there. Um, Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. All right, so it's not behind me now. It's like directly to the side. Anyways, NSJ will be right back. Hopefully she hears me. But for those that are uh, listening, as I'm trying to find out what's going on outside, um, the U.S. team scored 3 quick goals against Zambia, and one of the girls on the Zambian team, it is Zambian, right? ZA. But anyways, one got red carded for a foul, which didn't seem that bad. So for whatever reason, you know, they're playing a person down for 70 minutes. So I'm sitting here watching the game, and by the way, if you have Comcast and you have your box set up, you can watch it ultra high definition if you have a 4K TV, which I do. So, um, so, so, anyways, U.S. is up 3-0. 25 minutes in, and Zambia's got to play the last 55 to 60 or last 65 minutes of the match a woman down. So I'm thinking, oh shit, this is easy money. They were thinking that the U.S. team would score 4 goals because the over under was actually 3.5. I bumped it up to 4.5 because I wanted a little juice because I figured U.S. had some bad performances lately. They're going to take it out on Zambia, and they did for a while. And the thing that I hate most in sports, you let off the gas. But the U.S. team did miss numerous opportunities early on before they got that first goal, and the U.S. team was in complete control of the game. But in the end, it was a loser for yours truly. And I lost one of my $5 free wagers on BetMGM because I was thinking, this could be a blowout. So instead, bum bum ba dum bum, and and also, I need to ask SJ when she comes back, did she see the reel that I sent her earlier tonight? Because I will let you guys know that if she was here in the same room as me and I showed her that video, she would slap me upside the head. Now, she might have to get up onto the stool that I have over here to get up to eye level to me, but I guarantee you that she would probably do that after the video that I showed her. But we're just waiting for her to come back here so that we can finalize this wager. Um, and I know to bug her earlier in the day when it comes to getting her on the show. It was just me with work being crazy and me working on other things as well. Um, and yeah, it is what it is. Probably she's taking Gracie for her evening dump, and Gracie's got to drop a dookie bomb every once in a while. So, um, but I did see I got tagged on here, and unfortunately I got tagged on a lot of shit on X or Twitter as we know it. You know, a lot of things that are fake, that are a lot of um, bot accounts and shit like that. So I ended up seeing this, and somebody posted a reply, or no, he actually made a comment, just added a bunch of names, and I was one of them. Um, where was it? Oh, I lost. No, I think I clicked on it. Here it is. Um, John Raiders 25 on Twitter. I think I met him during the old Funk and Fantasy days when I was co-host for that. Um, he said, "My goodness, the Braves are playing bad baseball, and the Braves lost again. Phillies got a half a game today. The half a game that they should have had last night if it didn't rain in Atlanta. Um, Braves are 9.5 in front of the Braves. The Mets are 10 back. I'm more worried about the Mets than I am the Braves. I don't know if that's how you guys feel, but I really think that the Mets could be doing what the Phillies did last year, just getting on a roll in the second half of the year. Because the Mets are going to probably trade for a couple of pieces. Phillies need some bullpen help. Phillies bullpen has been inconsistent lately, but I wouldn't be. I mean, I'm not too worried about everything, um, but Cleveland does come into town this weekend, and but I will be down at the ballpark on Saturday. Um, the guys from my high school graduating class, we are getting together for an unofficial reunion of sorts, a little tailgate, hanging out with the buds. Uh, you know, I'll be wearing this jersey. Oh, I just realized something, and hopefully SJ will come back because I forgot we're going to play the whose jersey number do I have on my back. So if SJ comes back, we'll do that as well. So let me just check one other thing here. Just to let you guys know, I will be back on my Saturday show on the Bleacher Brothers account. Um, so, um, but I'm actually looking for something here, and that ambulance is right outside my window here. Uh, but I don't know what they're doing. But you would figure. Let me see here. Okay, she's still here. Okay, one second, everybody. Let me just take a peek outside. I can give you an update on everything. But what I'm going to do is I am going to roll backwards because I don't want. Actually, I'm going to take this jersey. But I got. Fuck. It's a no-win situation, people. Hold on. And of course, as soon as I get to the window, the ambulance pulls away. So I don't know what they were doing there, but because um, uh, because the street that's right outside my window there, and the door that's here, that's the side door. The main door is around the corner, so I don't know what they were doing there. I don't know if they were just doing something stupid, but they were doing something stupid. They wouldn't have the lights on, so and you wouldn't have me breaking out into Eddie Murphy singing Roxanne either. But um, so we're just waiting for SJ to come back here. Got two things that we're going to do here tonight. Um, but just want to remind you guys that uh, Saturday morning on the Bleacher Brothers Network, the Bleacher Brothers platforms. Just go to bleacherbrothers.com. That's probably the best place you can go to. The return of also eligible. I took off last week because I called out sick from work because of the 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 oral surgery that I had. Um, Root canal is an oral surgery, right? But um, we're going to be looking at 4 races, and I'm waiting to see if I'm doing this solo or not. Um, if I'm flying solo, then I can probably show some videos of previous races, especially the Saratoga race, because we're going to be looking at a race from. We're definitely going to be looking at the Jim Dandy, which is a 3-year-old race at Saratoga. We're going to be looking at up to 3 races from Del Mar. We got the Daisy Cutter, which is on the turf at 5 furlongs. We had the San Diego Handicap, which is the prep race for their big race of their meet, the Pacific Classic, which is in on Labor Day weekend, I believe. And you also had the Bing Crosby, which is a 6 furlong sprint on the main track. So I may be flying solo on Saturday. I also um, I also um, I sent a text out this afternoon. um, Frank, who was on the show 2 weeks ago, he picked 2 out of 3 winners in the 3 races we looked at from Saratoga. I went over 3, but um, he knows his stuff, and it's great to bounce ideas back and forth with him and go from there. So, and Helv is here. Helv, welcome in. Uh, yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Helv. How the women's soccer team um, were using drones, and The one thing is that I mentioned was I'm not sure if I don't know where Canada ranks in compared to New Zealand. I would imagine Canada is maybe top 5. Since we got time and I'm waiting for SJ to come back, I am going to see if I can find the women's soccer rankings here. And I'm sure Health will beat me to it, and that's fine. Women's soccer rankings. Okay, so matter of fact, I can probably share this to you guys. So let me do this. Uh, and Canada is 8th according to Health. Um, um, I always draw a blank when it comes to doing sharing my screen and stuff like that, so I do apologize. So I'm going to share my screen here. So there you go. I'm going to disappear here for a couple of seconds. Um, so here's the latest rankings. Spain is 1, France is 2. Okay, USA's down to 5. They used to be number 1, but they've had a couple of bad tournament results. Japan is 7. Canada's 8. North Korea is 10. That's interesting. And New Zealand is 28, like Held said. Um, Zambia is 64th. Um, so you see these biggest movers, the things that they do on there, and that gives you an idea of everybody in the top 10 and then some. Uh, I just wanted to hit that because I wanted to see something about North Korea. But um, yeah, and that proves my point that why would you, this was kind of like how Bill Belichick was spying on Cleveland and Cincinnati, or not necessarily Bill Belichick, but he gets the blame because he's the main coach. Exactly, it's Spygate. You know, I can understand if like you were spying on Spain or France because they're the top 2 teams, but like I said earlier, you know, they're doing an external investigation and that coach is pretty much gone. Um, I don't think there's anything that can save that coach from. I don't think there's anything that can save that coach's job. The only thing that saved Belichick was the number of Super Bowl rings he had. Now, I don't know what other tourneys Kenna has won over other than the Olympics. Um, the assistant and the analyst have both been sent home. I did see that. Um, so um, they did send both of them home. The coach got sent home as well, and you know, very strange beginning to the Olympics, even before the Olympic ceremony, which is tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific. Adjust accordingly for elsewhere around the world, because you had, uh, yeah, and the way that I read into that, from me being a union steward at my job, that is a suspension with the intent to dismiss because forgive me, neighbors upstairs. All I hear is bang, 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 bang. And the person that's probably doing it is about 80 pounds soaking wet. I saw her peeking her head out the window on Tuesday night while I was coming back from the store before my show. Um, yeah, that they're doing an investigation. They're going to investigate it further, and they're probably going to dismiss her because that's what it seems like they're doing is they're just getting more information, proving everything, and then some. The one thing I did see here was the assistant coach was arrested. Um, the assistant coach was arrested, but I don't. It must have been on the other one. The assistant coach was arrested, and she was charged, and she was sent home. Um, they didn't do anything with the analyst other than sending him home, but you know, it's not a good look, especially when you're the defending champions. And I believe the 2021 tournament that they won the gold medal uh, was a bit of a surprise. Um, okay, I got it wrong. The reason why I'm getting things confused is I had an article ready to go. And then I'm highlighting a couple different things earlier, and before I know it, there's a new story. I was like, oh shit. So, but an 8 month sentence, uh, sus- a suspended 8 month sentence. The drone was confiscated, and they both got sent home. I don't blame them. And everybody's going to be on their p's and q's and looking up to the sky and God knows what else during future practice sessions. In I think they're in Group A. Uh, but I just it just seems like a really strange story, and it's it's like you won the gold medal, but I could see spying on a team above you, but not that far below you in the standings. That's kind of like the United States spying on Zambia for their match today. I mean, Zambia is 64, the U.S. is 5. I think I saw there. It makes no sense unless there's something that they knew that nobody else knew. But either way, it's just a dumb move. Why are you risking your career? Uh, if the IOC decides to make this win not count, I'll agree with that sentence. Um, well, the initial plan was that um, Bev Priestman was not going to be on the sidelines today. So that was the initial plan. But it turned out that she got sent home and suspended and probably going to be fired. Because I think there's going to be more that comes up here. And this isn't the first time that Canadian soccer has done this. Um, there was a incident with the men's team. Uh, was in 2022, I believe, against Honduras. Um, but but Canada did win today, 2-1. They're 1-0 in their group. Now everybody will get on the boats on the River Seine for the opening ceremony. SJ's back! Yay! SJ, I also forgot. We got the guess whose name is on the back of my jersey game. 1:30 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific. We got the Who's on the back of my jersey game? No, it's not Harper. That's one of your three guesses. 1:30 p.m. Yes, because it's 7:30. It'll be 7:30 p.m. in France. Um, I will give you a hint, SJ. This person is not on the Phillies roster right now. And I am unbuttoning the shirt here because I will reveal who it is after your third guess. Um, I will give you a second clue free of charge. He was on the field at one point in the 2022. It was definitely the playoffs. I think it was the World Series. He was on the field for the 2022 playoffs. I think it was the World Series. We'll see if she has a guess. And I think the person who is on the back of this jersey was on the field during the 2022 playoffs. No, you already guessed Harper. It's not Harper. It's still not Harper. Utley was not on the field for the 2022 playoffs. He was too busy in England. Ryan Howard, no. I think this one's going to give it away. He had a famous speech. He had a famous speech before that, that appearance on the field during the 2022 playoffs. And technically, I should be revealing, but I'm just going to let you guess a few more times. Nah, Pete Rose, no. He was in the booth in 2022, and he said something about a cockeye fastball. Uh, he was drunk off his mind that day, reunion weekend. Nick, no. Uh-oh. SJ's thinking. Be afraid, everybody. Okay, I found it here, and just to let you, it's not a current player. Um, this person chugged a beer on the field during the playoffs in 22. Um, not a current player. He's a past athlete. I can tell you that much. Even though Jimmy Rollins has uh, new podcast out, but he probably wouldn't have shown up until the seventh inning anyway. Not Cole Hamels. He's known. No, not Kurt Schilling. No. Uh, he gave a famous speech. No, not Jim Thome. He gave a famous speech. Still cold as hell. Um, he gave a famous speech at a famous Philadelphia landmark. He's recently retired. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's also done a couple of Christmas albums. No, Roy Halladay didn't do any Christmas albums. His last word, Roy Halladay's last words were "Blue, blue, blue, blue." I shouldn't do that, but see, the worst part about this game is it's not Utley. He gave a famous speech in the 2010s. Recently retired. Has a famous brother. And this is why I got the jersey because it turns into one hell of a game here on the Joe Quill Show. He's recently retired, famous brother, chugged a beer on the field in 2022, famous speech in the 2010s at a famous Philadelphia landmark. Oh, we got a lead here. He is not a baseball player. That might have cracked the code. Do you want me? She knows who it is, but she can't think of the name. Should I should I show the video of him chugging the beer? Okay, hold on. And this is a YouTube short, so the video is going to be wonky. So, and you're probably not going to hear the sound. It's irrelevant. It's going to be blasted in my ears anyway. But hold on, I'm going to turn the volume down on my end, just so I don't. So here we go. There he is. Jason Kelsey, because his famous brother's Travis Kelsey. I showed you chugging the beer. His famous speech was from the 2018. Uh, did you hear the sound on that last video? That will tell me whether you can. Hold on. Let me. I think I know what I did there. Hold on. Hold on. I'm pulling. I'm pulling the video back up here. Oh, I see why it didn't go through. My bad. Hold on. Have to add the scene. Draw it up here. There you go. There is the guy behind the jersey, Jason Kelsey, and here's what he did. Let me know if you hear the sound or not, because um, I know this was the video I was showing first, and this is going to decide whether I play the parade video. Hold on.
Two, center, Jason Kelsey. Number 62, Eagles center, Jason Kelsey. Number 62.
Okay, now here's the good test. Did you hear the sound to that? Because I don't think you would have. But you got to see the beer drinking. And oops. Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard that video or not, so that's going to determine if I actually play that YouTube video of Jason Kelsey. And of course, we got to play the Super Bowl speech uncensored. Let me see here. And forgive me, I'm being quiet here. Okay, so that isn't the I mean, it's the video, but it's the censored version. Um, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it again. Um, it's the unedited speech. Hopefully, okay, I'm going to play the first few seconds here, SJ. Let me know if you hear this.
Ability, strength, teamwork. Please welcome All-Pro Center Jason Kelsey.
Okay, I tested it because I got the computer over here. It is playing the audio here, so you get to hear the whole thing here. So let me just go back a few seconds. I'll double check this here. Hold on.
Please welcome All-Pro Center strength, teamwork. Please welcome All-Pro Center Jason
Okay, it's
Kelsey.
working.
Philadelphia! You love the Eagles, let me get a hell yeah! You love the Philadelphia Eagles, let me get a hell yeah! I'm gonna take a second to talk to you about underdogs. I know Lane and Chris just talked about this, but I don't think that it's been beat home enough. Howie Roseman, a few years ago, was relinquished of all control pretty much in this organization. He was put in the side, he was put in the side of the building where I didn't see him for over a year. 2 years ago, when they made a decision, he came out of there a different man. He came out of there with a purpose and a drive to make this possible. And I saw a different Howie Roseman, an underdog, Doug Peterson. When Doug Peterson was hired, he was rated as the worst coaching hire by a lot of freaking analysts out there in the media. This past offseason, some clown named Mike Lombardi told him that he was the least qualified head coach in the NFL. You saw a driven Doug Peterson, a man who went for it on 4th and down. Went for it on 4th and down in the Super Bowl with the trick play. He wasn't playing just to go mediocre. He's playing for a Super Bowl. And it don't stop with him. It does not stop with him. Jason Peters was told he was too old. Didn't have it anymore. Before he got hurt, he was the best freaking tackle in the NFL. McVay was told he didn't have it. Stephen Wisniewski ain't good enough. Jason Kelsey's too small. Lane Johnson can't lay off the juice. Brandon Brooks has anxiety. Carson Wentz didn't go to a Division I school. Nick Foles don't got it. Mark Clement's too slow. LeGarrette Blount ain't got it anymore. Jay and John can't stay healthy. Torrey Smith can't catch. Nelson Aguilar can't catch. Zach Ertz can't block. Brett Selleck's too old. Brandon Graham was drafted too high. Vinny Curry ain't got it. Mo Allen can't fit the scheme. Michael Thomas can't fit the scheme. Nigel Bradham can't catch. Jalen Mills can't cover. Patrick Robinson can't cover. It's the whole team. It's the whole team. This entire organization was a bunch of driven men to accomplish something. We were a bunch of underdogs. And you know what underdogs is? It's a hungry dog. And Jeff Stoutland has had this in our building for 5 years. It's a quote in the O-line room that has stood on the wall for the last 5 years. Hungry dogs run faster. And that's this team. Bottom line is, we wanted it more. All the players, all the coaches, the front office, Jeffrey Lurie, everybody wanted it more. And that's why we're up here today, and that's why we're the first team in Eagles history to hold that freaking trophy. And you know who the biggest underdog is? It's y'all, Philadelphia. For 52 years, y'all have been waiting for this. You want to talk about an underdog? You want to talk about a hungry dog? For 52 years, you've been starved in this championship. Everybody wonders why we're so mean. Everybody wonders why the Philadelphia Eagles aren't the nicest fans. If I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking pissed off. No one wanted us. No one liked this team. No analyst liked this team to win the Super Bowl, and nobody likes our fans. And you know what? I've just heard one of the best chants this past day, and it's one of my favorite, and it's new, and I hope y'all learn it, because I'm about to drop it right now. You know what I gotta say to all those people that doubted us, to all those people that counted us out, and to everybody who said that we couldn't get it done? What my man Jay Ajay just said, fuck you!
So that was the guy from the shirt, from this jersey, Jason Kelsey. His his famous brothers Travis. I think if I would have said he's going to have a future famous sister-in-law, that would have gave it away really fast. But never played for the Phillies, but he did chug a beer on the field. I think that was Game 3 of the NLCS, and reason why I got it was a conversation starter, and that, and I said earlier tonight before SJ got here, SJ knows about this. She's the only person that knows about this right now. But I do have something coming in the mail next week. What it is, only SJ knows right now, and maybe one or two people will know. It's going to one. I ordered two of them. One of them is going to go on the uh, area of the air conditioner. The other one, I don't know. But, and by the way, yeah, I do work for the Evil Empire. Uh, anyway, so now we get to what I should have DM'd her earlier in the day, get her on, actually on the stream. And, just to let you know, going forward, SJ, um, the way this would work is I would send you an email with the link, as long as I'm using this platform. I'd send you the link. All you have to do is click on the link and you'll be in here. You can address yourself any way you want there. I put myself as Joe Quills because that's what I use. Um, that's how it will work in the future. Um, yeah, I mean, we could do it anytime. Um, I know you got to put on your makeup. You got to make yourself look extra pretty for me. Uh, but that's how it'll be. So if you want, I'll put the bag over my head. But it's kind of like me when I have some relations with somebody. Sometimes we fight over the bag so that we don't be seen, and I try to wear the bag instead of her. But But seriously, yeah. So that's how it'll work, and it'll be anybody that I bring on the show going forward, especially when we go to 4 nights in a couple of weeks. Um, you know, so here's my proposal, SJ, and my Phillies are going to be hosting your Yankees here at Citizens Bank Park on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm going to be at the game on Saturday against Cleveland, but um, I have a proposal for you. And the last time I made a wager, baseball wise, I lost and I paid it up. But the guy who I lost the bet to was not watching my stream last that night because I said, "Hey, I'm paying it off," and it just said he didn't show up to prove it. I was like, "Well, you got to watch the video." But here's my proposal to you: whoever's team loses the series, the 3-game series, whoever loses. So let's say in the likely event that your Yankees lose at least 2 or 3 against the Phillies, or in the highly unlikely event that your Yankees take at least 2 out of 3 from the 2024 World Series champs. All right. Now, for those that are watching this after the fact, yes, I do know that I've said numerous times I'm cautiously optimistic of this team because of the funk, especially now with the little bit of a funk that the Phillies are in. Um, the loser has to wear the winning team's shirt, any shirt, as long as it just says Phillies on it, Yankees on it. The loser has to wear the winning person's team on their stream. And I am going to put an added stipulation here that will actually give you an out on this as well. Um, let's say only 2 games are played and the Yankees leave town with a split. It's a no wager. There are no winners. There are no losers. Now, this is where I got myself into trouble with the Penguin AZ, who is a friend of Bleacher Brothers. I got into trouble with him because I said if the Phillies and Diamondbacks met in the playoffs last year, it's good for that entire series. So it's a 3-game series, but I'm putting in a provision if one team ends up if one of the games gets rained out and they leave town without playing that 3rd game and the series is a split, then it is a no wager. So I don't know how you feel. This is all in fun. At least I won't have to wear Yankees stink. Yeah, we know that. And the Phillies haven't been uh, doing too hot after the All Star break. Even though I proclaimed the Mets the biggest rival to the Phillies and the Braves. And before you give me your final decision, if you before you give me your final decision, you can tell me no. I will not be upset. The Mets are only a half a game behind the Braves after their win tonight. Because I got tagged on Twitter tonight Um, uh, well, for the sake of this stream, yeah. I mean, we could do it offline, but but if I end up having to wear a shirt even after the fact, so be it. Um, the series is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I am off on Wednesday as well. Um, Let me see something here. And notice she's saying, when do we play? You're saying we as in the Phillies, right? I can be such a ball buster sometimes. It's on national TV. Oops, hold on. So I am giving you the option of backing out. Um, but yeah, it's a little fun thing that we do. And now that you're actually doing your podcast um, with the video element involved. Oops, hold on. Yeah, and, hmm. And I can tell that you are not a true Yankees fan because you're saying, I say we're going to take one game. Pork Chop, welcome in. Pork Chop is one of my friends from the Free for All group. Uh, Trying to get this wager down here. Um, I know you want to see me in a Yankees shirt, don't you? Don't you, SJ? Yeah, SJ Pork Chop is one of my friends from the Free for All show. Um, he is actually in Portland area, Oregon. Uh, I don't even watch baseball, but F the Yankees. um, and just to let you know, SJ, did you see the reel that I sent you about the from the Dane Levitard show about uh, uh, Eli Manning throwing more interceptions for touchdowns against? Uh, it's on your Instagram, so look at that later. You can thank Pork Chop for that because I then shared it with you. You're not gonna like me. So Now I got a tough decision to make here. So this is not going as planned. Yes, it was. It was the Vikings. It was Dan Levitar, but I think it was. But I don't think that was from today's show because I actually watched part of it today because um I have a Samsung TV, so I can watch DraftKings TV on there. Um, all right, so so we're doing this wager now. Is it the original one I proposed, or is it the one that you tried to modify? My Phillies got to sweep your Yankees. All right, hold on. It's a three-game series, and my original proposal, since Pork Chop wasn't here at the beginning, was whichever team wins the series, the loser has to wear the winning team's shirt. It could be a T-shirt, you know, doesn't have to be a jersey. Uh, that was the original plan, and also, um, in the event that one of the games does not get played and the teams leave town before playing that third game, if it's a 1-1 tie in the series, there is no tiebreaker. Yeah, whoever wins the series, and in the event that a third game is not played for whatever reason and they leave town to another city, ladies and gentlemen, as you see there, whoever wins the series, bet you're at home, not there. It isn't my fault that we played at the start of the season last year in Yankee Stadium. Let me look at that schedule from last year. Hold on. Yeah, Phillies did lose 2 or 3 there. Okay. So, um, so ladies and gentlemen, we do have a wager. Winner of the series, the winner of the series gets to see the loser wear his, the winner's team's T-shirt on stream. Um, now, I will let you know with Amazon or whatever. I will be pretty lenient with you wearing it on stream. And I know you're only doing the Cook It and Book It podcast. I think I got that name right, didn't I? And if I got it wrong, I apologize. But that's on her channel at Sarah Jane Gamelli. And yeah, I do need to set up my emotes. Am I working tomorrow? Yes. Um, I am working, but I don't start till 11:30. Because I did see the post on your Discord. I saw the post on your Discord about your stream. Um, because I could, I could be up early. I was up early today. Uh, isn't that what happened to Sammy Davis Jr.? He kept an eye out. Because Sammy Davis Jr. only had one eye. We found that out from Adam Sandler. Yeah, I mean, well, it's early for me because I wake up by 9, but I don't roll out of bed till about 10:15 because I'm like, La di da di da di da. Oh, bees. But no, I can. I just have to set the alarm to start up early because I had to be up early this morning because I had a pissed off exterminator in my apartment this morning. And I know that the people that were watching, uh, um, yeah, we'll talk about that after the stream, privately. Ooh, we're talking private. Ooh, uh, but yeah, I know I talked about this at the beginning of the show, but SJ wasn't here, so I'll let her know about my. No, you're alive. You're very much alive, and if you need CPR, I hope you can survive a few hours until I find you. But anyways, seriously though, um, um, I totally lost my train of thought now. Um, oh yeah, the exterminator story. So yesterday I get a call while I'm working. I'm looking. I have the phone next to me, and the Phillies game was on, so I don't have it too close to me because I don't want to see the sports alerts before the play happens on the screen on my TV. So I see Northeast Apartments on my phone. I'm like, what the hell do they want? Or was it? Are they now telling me that my July rent payment, was late when it wasn't because I timed it perfectly with everything? So um, I get a call. It had nothing to do with that. Thursdays are exterminator days here, and if you get roaches or anything like that, you know, call the office, let them know. They'll set up the exterminator to come out on Thursdays. So apparently, a lot of people in our building are complaining about roaches right now, and I haven't seen any in my apartment except for one. But usually when you get one, you get like a million of them. But I only got one, so that's good. That's like no, that's like zero because cockroaches, rats. If there's one, there's a million of them, and thankfully that wasn't the case, at least for what I know. So I get a call. Um, we want, we have the exterminator coming. Have you had any issues with roaches? I was like, well, I had one a couple of weeks ago, but that was the only one. And they said, okay, well, we're still going to send somebody out. I was like, good, because they had a feeling if we do what the exterminators do, what they figure if they do a bunch of apartments, all the bugs will migrate towards mine. That's what they're thinking. So I'm like, okay. So guy rings the doorbell about 5 at 12. I log out. One moment, get to the door. He goes, "What's going on?" I said, uh, the the main office called me and they said, uh, you were doing a whole bunch of apartments here, and they said to spray mine because they want to prevent me from doing this. And he's bitching and moaning, and I understand why. But I'm having PTSD from all the people I deal with my job, with people screaming over the dumbest stuff. But he's like, this is the busiest time of the year, and this is something that you do in the off season, not now. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, I wanted to say calm down, but I was just like, all right, say whatever you want. And in the end, I just said, I have no problem. Didn't say anything bad to him. I understood why he was upset and frustrated with it. And he said the one girl whose name I recognize because it's my sister's friend, um, it was said that they you know, I just said, I was just going by what they were saying, and and I said, and also, like, even though you don't do like rats and stuff like that, the maintenance department, they leave that bottom door open a lot during the day. And I contest in some regards that was that may be why some mice get in, because there's two um, uh, dumpsters on over that way. So, but you do have all different things there. But he was cool in the end, and I understood why. Whereas like the people that scream at me for no reason, it's like, why are you screaming at me? You know, and that's stuff that I won't go any further with the work stuff because I don't want to get myself into trouble. But um, yeah, so I ended, and when they called, they said, "Oh, sometime between 9 and 4." Knowing my luck, I would have overslept my alarms because I set my alarms up earlier, and all I hear is ding, 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 ding. I mean, it would sound like that. It would sound like a pinball machine, and I don't have the pinball game on my PC right now because I had to redo the computer here. Uh, but Um, but I would definitely say that, it was just, you know, but, it's not that big of a deal. And my thinking is if I get up early tomorrow, I can fall asleep earlier tomorrow night. Play along with me here because, if you really think about it, it does make sense, even though I'm probably going to be up till 2:30 again. Um, because, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, and I'm going to change the banner here. Actually, I can do it like this. Uh, just a reminder as well, you can join me on the Bleacher Brothers platform for also eligible my horse racing show Saturday at 10 a.m. Um, it's the latest horse racing news and top races. We're going to be looking at 4 different races on Saturday, and I'm probably going to start handicapping that tonight because it's going to be a lot of typing, and for the article that I'm going to post. So just give me an idea of what's going on there. So. Um, and that's on the Bleacher Brothers platforms. Probably the best thing I could tell you is just go to bleacherbrothers.com. I think that I think Twitch is linked up on there, and Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Pornhub. No, not Pornhub. Uh, but you know, so we do have a wager. The loser has to wear the winning team's shirt. And we do have a provision in the event that it's 1-1 and the third game does not get played before they leave town. If it's 1-1, it's just a no wager. So, um, so I will, I will be around to help you out um, tomorrow morning. Better give me some winners since I put some money in my account, uh, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, so it's fun, and SJ is going to be my basketball aficionado. Nothing to bet on. Well, if you remember 2 weeks ago for your last episode, I did give out Oakland over the Phillies. Um, I bet women. I bet women's soccer this afternoon. Um, give you a play for tomorrow. Oh, geez. Um, let me see here. I'm going to pull up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna. You know what? I am going to give you a play tonight for those that want to pick from me. But I want to see something real quick. Um, it is ungodly hot in here because I have it on energy mode and it's thinking it's not that hot in here when it is. Um, I think I'm going to give you an off the wall Olympics men basketball pick. And no, I'm not picking South Sudan over the United States. But um, the one thing I'm looking for, and I can't find it here. All right, I'll have to look at that later. But the one thing that I'm going to look at right now, actually, I'm going to give you two plays tonight. Um, Trey Turner has been on fire since he came back from his injury. Well, I'm going to give you a different pick, unless you want me to reiterate them on your show. Here's a pick or two that I'm going to give out tonight. Um, Trey Turner has been white hot for the Phillies since he came back from his injury. Um, let's go with him hitting a home run at plus 340 for tomorrow. And my other play, which I'm not going to give you on the show unless you want me to bring it up, and we'll adjust the odds as well. Um, and maybe when I go to the Phillies game on Saturday, before I start tailgating with my friends from high school, maybe I take a walk over to Live Casino because remember I texted you from Live Casino back in April. Um, soccer. Okay, here we go. The one thing I say sometimes when it comes to sports is I love me a three way. And in soccer, you can play a three-way wager. Now, this is a revenge game. It's one of those goofy in season tournaments that soccer does as well, where my team, my town, my Philadelphia Union seem to play really well in. I think they're getting back on track. Hopefully, it means that they get into the playoffs. But on a soccer three way, I'm going with the Philadelphia Union on Saturday night over Charlotte FC at plus 110. Now, with that wager, you can do one of three things: Union to win, Charlotte to win, or draw. And I hit an English Premier League parlay a few years ago where one of the three games had to be a draw, and I got the draw. But so my two picks, I'm doing this real quick so I can screenshot it so that if I mention these two on top of anything else here, Um, so my two plays here for this weekend for the return of the Philly Fade. I got the Philadelphia Union on the money line in a Leagues Cup match against FC Charlotte in Philly. Well, it's actually Chester, but it's actually the good side of Chester because you know how they say on the other side of the tracks? Well, guess what? You go to the other side of the tracks, it is not as good as where the stadium is. Trust me. And tomorrow I will take Trey Turner to hit at least one home run at plus 340, and I will put them in tomorrow. Hopefully, the odds will go up, but no, my luck it'll go down to about 250. I'll still play it, but those are my plays for tomorrow. And SJ will get my Olympics pick for men's basketball tomorrow. Um, yeah, but one question that I have for SJ, and if it ruins my if it ruins my pick, then so be it. But how worried are you about the men's team right now? I'm not worried about the women's team because basically that All-Star game that you were at, SJ. And by the way, I'm jealous, even though you were in 125-degree weather. Um, Basically, you had the USA Women's A team versus the USA Women's B team. Even though you probably had a couple of girls on the WNBA All Star team that probably weren't in the United States, but you get the idea. The USA women's team could have their fourth string win the gold medal. Whereas with the men, you have a bad break, you're playing for the bronze or you're playing for nothing. And oh, by the way, some guy who's the flag bearer tomorrow was on that team in Greece that did not win a gold. He won a bronze. So the one thing I would say is how worried are you about the U.S. men's team going into this and trying to flip the switch and be ready to go? Now, granted, Kevin Durant was hurt. He's working his way back. I'm, I'm trying not to give away my pick here because I don't know, but I just get the feeling that we're going to get disappointed by Team USA this year, the men's team. I think that the disappointment with the women's team is they won't blow somebody out by 80 points in one of the games. Yeah, and SJ agrees with me. It does happen. It could happen. A lot of egos. Yeah, and you know, and also not only that, you also have teams from around the world who have caught up to the United States. So it isn't like 1992 where the U.S. team was way up here and three floors down were all the other teams. It exactly. It's how the players fit, and I don't. And even if the U.S. doesn't win, you can't blame Steve Kerr. I mean, it's just what you're dealt, and you know, and I believe that first game is on Sunday, and they draw Serbia. So yeah, because the three games in their pool are Serbia, South Sudan again. I can guarantee you right now. I don't even know what the line is for that second game yet. I don't think. I can guarantee you they're going to blow them right the fuck out. Excuse my French. And then Puerto Rico. Well, guess what? If Puerto Rico becomes the 51st or 52nd state, no more Puerto Rico in the Olympics because they would all be Americans. But so, and like SJ said, it's how these players fit. you know, and they know each other. It's not like uh, the NBA in 1970 where nobody was pal pal. Everybody now, they hug it out after games all the time. At least that's how I feel. So, so I do appreciate everybody who came in tonight. Helv was here. SJ is here. Pork Chop is here. I do appreciate everybody watching on X and on YouTube as well, even after the fact. Um, and I will be at the ballpark Saturday afternoon, but check my other show, also eligible. That'll be Saturday at 10 a.m. We'll be looking at races from Saratoga and Del Mar. A um, little bit of Bing Crosby and uh, Christ, a little bit of Carly Simon because Carly Simon mentioned Saratoga in She's So Vain. So anyway, so that's it for now. This show will be back on Monday night at 9 o'clock. Also eligible will be available on the Bleacher Brothers platforms at 10 a.m. Eastern. And I will be down at the ballpark about 3 o'clock, hanging out with my buddies from high school. So SJ, we'll figure out the um, the stuff about tomorrow in a few minutes. And that's it for now. And glad everybody got a chance to join in and also watch after the fact because that's what I'm all about. So uh, SJ's going to shower and you know whatever. Anyways, just trying to get a remark. So have a great night, everybody. Catch us Saturday on Also Eligible and here on Monday for the Joe Quill Show, which is part of the Bleacher Brothers Network. Good night, everybody.